Hi, I'm Rob from MicksGarage. Today we're going to show you how to change the engine oil and the filter on your car. It's a pretty simple job, one that anyone can try. You just need a few basic tools and we'll show you what they are in a minute. But first we want to get the car up onto these ramps, or jack it up if you don't have ramps, and we need to take the undertray off the car. We're putting the car up on ramps because we just wanted to get better access to the undertray and the sump plug, and really just to get the camera in there to show you exactly what we're doing. If you don't have ramps, don't worry, you can just lift the car up with a jack and axle stands. Okay, the car we're using to do the demonstration today is a 2005 Volkswagen Passat, and it has the 1.9 TDI diesel engine in it. Let's have a quick run through of all the bits and pieces that we're going to need to do the job. First of all, the oil, obviously, and the filter. At MicksGarage we stock Total and Castrol brands of oil. Filters, we stock a range of brands. We do the Coopers, UFI, Wicks and Blueprint. Nitrile gloves, always use those. You're going to need a torque wrench. We're going to need an extension bar and a ratchet, a 32mm socket in this case. We're going to need a couple of hex bits, and we're going to use this oil drain pan, a really handy piece of kit. And then lastly, a bag of rags. Great invention. They cost about a tenner. You get 10 kilos of rags, just great for mopping up any little spills that you might have. And that's all we need. First job we have to do is to remove this plastic undertray, and it's just held on with a few posi drive bolts here through at the back, and then a few around the edge here. So we just have to whip those out, take the undertray off so that we can get to the sump plug. Now we have the undertray out of the way, we can see the sump and we can see the sump plug, which we need to remove shortly. It takes a 19mm socket. Now we've taken the undertray off the car, we're going to take the car down off the ramps, because when we fill it with oil we want it to be on a level, flat surface. Now we're going to take the top of the engine cover off. This car just literally pops off. Now we can see the engine a bit better with that cover off. Here's your oil filler cap, that's where the oil goes in. Here's the dipstick, and this guy down here is the oil filter housing with a big 32mm nut on the top. Just take this sound deadening out of the way, you can see it a bit better there. We need to take this cap off and our oil filter is inside there. Now the next job is to drain the oil from the engine. What we need to do is remove the sump plug. Before we do that, we want to just take off the oil filler cap on the top of the engine. Allows the oil to flow out down through the engine much more easily. So we take our oil drain pan, make sure that the drain cap is on tight, remove the drain bung and the breather bung, and we're also going to use our 90mm socket, breaker bar and a couple of rags just in case we get any spills. We're just going to get under the car, position the drain pan underneath the sump plug and undo the sump bung. Now there we can see our sump plug. Put that somewhere safe. Now we need our rags. Now we're ready to take the cap off the oil filter housing, and we're using the 32mm socket. Probably something I should have mentioned at the very start of this video is that it's always better to do this job when the engine's quite warm. It just helps the oil flow out of the engine a lot better and more easily and more quickly. Just wind this cap off, that's it. Inside here, in fact this filter is coming with it. In fact what we'll do is we'll just leave that there for a second to drain out. Now we let the old filter drain there into the housing for a minute or two so we didn't make too much mess. We have the new filter here. You can see that the pattern is slightly different design, but the overall shape of the filter is the same, so we know that it's going to fit. So we just got to take this filter out. It just clips out. That's that. And then we just got to clip the new one back in. see this has the clips on the bottom. Literally just pushes in and that's it. Now we're ready to put the filter back into the housing. We just want to put a smear of engine oil around the rubber O-ring here and around the top as well. And another just important thing to note, this particular housing is made of plastic and it has to be tightened up to 25 Newton meters, no more. That's not a great deal at all, so you set your torque wrench to that. Just pop that back in and we give it a half a turn counterclockwise just to make sure that the threads seat properly. Tighten it up by hand before we just get the socket on there. Just do this a couple of turns until we start to feel some resistance. Okay, and now we can use the torque wrench. And that's it. Now we can put the sump plug back in. It's really important to do this step next before you go putting any oil in the engine, because if you forget, all your brand new lovely oil is going to go straight through the engine and fall out the bottom. Now we're ready to fill the engine up with oil again. We've checked the correct oil on the total lookup function on our website. Got a rag here just to collect any spills we might have. Make sure you put this oil filler cap somewhere safe. Don't leave it in the engine compartment. And let's fill this engine up with oil. You just want to do a little bit at a time. The last thing you want to do is to overfill it. So we'll just pour maybe 3/4 of the can in, and then we'll check the dipstick. Now we'll just check the oil level before we go too far, and we can just see that the oil is starting to appear on the dipstick there. We want to get it into this textured section of the dipstick here, so we need to put a bit more in. Okay, maybe another half a litre ought to probably do the job, so we just put another bit more in. Now we just check the oil once more, and yep, that's bang on, just at the top there of the textured mark, so that's perfect. Just wipe it off and put it back in, and we can put our oil filler cap back on. Get rid of the rags, put our sound deadening material back around into position, and we just need to put the top of the engine cover back on here now. Now the engine cover's back on, and we've taken everything out of the engine bay, so we're safe to put the bonnet back down, and we can put the undertray back on the car. Now, just before we put the undertray back on, we can just take out our oil drain pan, put back the bungs, and we can store this somewhere safely until we're ready to take it to the tip to dispose of it properly. Now all that's left to do is to put the undertray back into position, tighten up the retaining bolts. That's that one. Okay, that's done. And then the last one. And that is it done. Okay, that's it. Oil and filter changed in probably under an hour. On this particular car anyway, there's nothing too technical or too taxing, so we hope that gives you the confidence to have a go yourself.